What is up? What is good? How y'all feeling? Happy Thursday. If you out of the country, happy Friday if I'm not mistaken. Brate Podcast doing yet another episode. Been taking these little blind breaks here and there, but I'm promising to give content. So I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I got some stuff today. I initially kind of went in just kind of was going to keep it simple and light and say, I'm going to just talk about the Olympics and talk about how there are a lot of black men and women dominating the Olympics. But some stories have hit, some situations have come about, and I guess it's only fitting to just do what I do and then share some thoughts with my listeners. So if you're out there listening, if you've gotten the information either through Snapchat, through my Instagram, through Facebook, through the group, wherever you are, whoever you are, wherever y'all at, like, what's good? I hope everybody doing all right today, man. I ain't gonna lie, I am in the most calm and chill state today. If you hear the music going crazy in the background, got a little bit of a different mix going on tonight, so that's kind of helped me get through the flow and just kind of doing what I do. So with that being said, we will just go ahead and get into it. First topic, as you can see, if you have the images, well, I'll kind of give you a cliff note overview of what we're talking about. Today I want to get into the medal count as of right now, where we are in the Olympic standings, not just America, but most of the countries. Breaking story hit with Darren Sharper. I'm going to get into that briefly. And we got the men and the women's basketball teams both pushing to get to their higher goal, which is to get the gold medal. And we finally got Al Jazeera and the NFL kind of getting their hands into that. So we got a decent amount of topics today, and I'm not gonna really make it too intense or too extreme. I just kind of wanted to keep it a little simple with the podcast tonight. So I'm not going to waste too much time. I'm going to go ahead and hop on into it. First topic on the agenda is the status of the Olympics in Rio. So I'm going to give kind of the top 10 teams, because there are so many teams that are up there in the mixes of getting some medals. But it's kind of been a landslide for the United States. So far, we've hit the peak point of 100. There probably are more, but as of right now, there are 100 medals that we've won. To be exact, we've won 35 gold, 33 silver, and 32 bronze. Great Britain is second, and it's tough because it's a huge gap. Like, the United States has 100, Great Britain has 56. So it's a pretty big gap between teams. I think Gabby Douglas and the Olympics, the gymnastics crew, team gymnastics in the building. They've kind of been doing their thing on the scene, so that's kind of been a key element to everything. China's third with 50. I'm sorry. Now I'm guessing they're counting medals based on who has the most gold, but then they're also basing it on who has the most medals, but who has the most gold mostly. So United States has the most gold so far at 35. Great Britain is second with 22. China third with 20. Germany has 13. Russia and Japan both are tied with 12. France has 8. France, Italy, and the Netherlands all have 8. And Australia is 10th with 7, tied with South Korea and Hungary. Host country has 14 medals, 4 of them being gold, one of which was coincidentally in the beach volleyball competition, which I find to be interesting because they do it oceanside. It's at an oceanside venue, like they set it up, with the sand and everything, and close it off, and it was a good event. I looked at a few of my friends and we looked at the medal. We looked at the semifinals match between Brazil and USA, and Brazil pretty much cleaned it 2-0. Brazil was ranked number 2. USA, oddly enough, was number 3, and it kind of worked out decent in the end because Brazil ended up getting gold. USA did win third in the matchup for medal, for the third place matchup. So shout out to USA and everybody who's been participating, just doing their thing, just kind of showing out and making it do what it do. So I wanted to make sure I didn't leave. Kind of crazy because we're kind of heavy into the Olympics right now, and I literally have like neglected the Olympics on like multiple levels, and I'm not blaming anybody for that. I'm not looking for any pity. I'll take full responsibility for that one because it's been life coming at you in just every way possible. So it is what it is, and it's nothing we got to sit and hold our lives about. Just kind of let it be what it is and kind of move forward. The next story I have to get into, and I can't let it go because it's just crazy. Because a few months ago they offered him a plea: take 9 years, don't look as bad, everything ain't all that rough. Well, instead, Darren Sharper decided to go along with the fight, see what would transpire, and he was found guilty, and they ended up giving him 18 years in federal prison. Now, you think this was a top shutdown defensive player in the NFL with the Saints. And what makes it tough for a lot of people who kind of know and understand what's happening is that he's from Virginia. So it's like, come on, man, like one job. Like you shouldn't be doing all of this. But to kind of give those who, if you have been out of the loop or been away from sports or away from life, basically he was part of a plot to drug women and make them an accessible target to rape. And what was crazy about it was there were 16 victims who came forward and acknowledged that this occurred. And it's kind of tough because, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit because I think it's relevant to do. It's unique that we're going into this conversation and talking about this when a few years ago, you had all that stuff going with Penn State and with Sandusky and with Paterno. It's tough, man. Like, you don't want anything to happen. Like, nobody deserves anything that is placed to them. And I mean, I'm a living witness to that, even myself. And it's just one of those things that this is going to be him learning to hold himself accountable and really accept that he was fully in the wrong. And then it's crazy because now he's 33, and the comment they just left saying they didn't deserve anything being part of my heinous decisions. I still don't know why I lived my life right for 38 years and then I took this path. So this is just kind of one of those things. And he's probably, he's older than 38, obviously, but it's just tough because this is that, hey, sometimes people need to be humbled and sometimes people need to have that wake up call. And I think this was his wake up call. So, it is what it is. It happened the way it did, and it's just kind of being told for itself. So that's that whole ordeal. I mentioned it briefly, but I'll go into it again. Usain Bolt, Gabby. I can't name all of it because I haven't really been watching the Olympics a lot. This year's kind of been on the go, so I really haven't stopped to just say, hey, let me watch. But the stories I've been keeping up with has been confirmation that African Americans are dominating, not just in America, but just in the Olympics, period. So major props and major moves. A lot of people may not be big fans of that, but that's whatever, Sometimes even if you think you're ahead, you're still behind because it's all about the approval factor. So we ain't gonna get into that whole tangent, but anybody who knows how it goes, if you happen to have that coincidental moment where you may see or come across an Olympian, tell them thanks, tell them appreciate it. You're the real MVP. So there's that whole scenario. And with the basketball teams, I'm going to go into that. The men's team had 2 close games with France and I'm wanting to say Serbia. Those games both were won by 3 points. So everyone had state of shock. Oh, we don't know what's going to happen with the men's team. It might not work out. So telling them if they're going to get gold, this, that, and the third. Well, they went up against Argentina and played like it mattered. So to be able to dominate against them the way they did says a lot, and I truly have nothing but the utmost respect for that. So they have gone ahead and won that game. Let's see. Can't see the exact score. Sorry, I'm like multitasking is always in heavy. 1-0. The score was 105-78 with them winning. And as far as the women's team go, they were able to beat France. So they're going on to the gold medal game. I don't have the date for that, but they'll be preparing for that match soon. So both of those teams have been pretty much doing what they're supposed to do, and that is show that the USA is, we bring out serious talent when it comes to basketball, so that's not going to change. So my last topic, and like I said, it's kind of an odd situation because I usually have like, I got a lot of topics and a lot of stuff to talk about. Realistically, and I'm learning this now from doing my podcast, keeping it simple makes it better for you, and it makes it better for me, because I don't want to sit here and like just rambling. Now I'm still trying to get kinks worked out on some other things that I've mentioned numerous times. But we have James Harrison, Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers, and Mike Neal all have decided to agree to doing interviews with the NFL, or to be interviewed by the league in general, based on this report from Al Jazeera. So it's kind of a unique situation, because it's almost as though it shouldn't have gotten to the point that it has, but it's here. And I think all these players are doing it for one simple reason. They want to keep their job. So they have reported to the NFL Players Association, and they will be working to get everything resolved with that and seeing what the status will be with this story as well as their careers. So if more information comes from that, or more stories evolve from it, I'll make sure that I get that in the next podcast about sports. So kind of a simple podcast tonight. Kind of wanted to jump on some things. I say this every time. I know y'all hear the fan in the background, and it sounds like I'm in like the craziest environment, but it's either y'all get the fan in the background or me dying on the podcast. So y'all pick y'all poison. Anyways, I'm not going to bore y'all half to death. If you're part of social media, check me out, Brate Podcast on Instagram. On Spreaker, I'm under Brate Podcast. We're now on iTunes. If you want to go back and listen to any previous episodes, those are there listed and available. I might be still looking to do so, but I haven't fully followed through. But I'll be putting some of my previous episodes of when this all first got started, when I would just sit here and mess around with the microphone and figure out what I was doing, to now I've learned to get a little bit more organized. One topic that is coming, and I am working the kinks out now to get those guests on the show, is I'm planning to do an episode on communication. Yes, I'm doing a shameless plug. And before I do that shameless plug, I have another shameless plug that I would like to do. If you are into movies, if you like good television, and if you're a hip-hop head or a music snob, you have two things that you should do if you have a Netflix account or are able to get a Netflix account. Watch the movie Dope first. Take it all in, enjoy it, get a realization of the hip-hop and knowledge of hip-hop, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Then, on Netflix, go back in and look for The Get Down. I'm not going to tell you too much about it. I'm telling you to watch Dope before Get Down for a reason, and you'll see why. Those who have seen it, they'll understand it a lot clearer as to why I say that. So, those are my closing thoughts. chipping into the 15-minute mark, and I hope you all have enjoyed listening as much as I have enjoyed talking y'all half to death tonight. Until next time, this is BT signing out. Be a blessing, be positive. If you'll do something good, do it for the good reasons, and don't just do it just to be doing it. Alright, y'all. Peace.